Module 6. What do I need to know about licensing? This video simplifies a very complex subject. This video is not a substitute for legal advice, which should be sought in cases where the application of general principles is unclear. Let's talk about licensing. Essentially, a license is a contract negotiated between a copyright holder and a copyright user. The resulting contract lays out how the work can be used, how much the use will cost, and sets terms and conditions for copying the work. So how does licensing affect you? If your college has entered into a licensing agreement with a copyright holder, then you need to abide by the terms and conditions of that agreement. Some licensing agreements will cancel out the exceptions that the Copyright Act gives you, so it's very important to know when you're using licensed content. What types of licenses will you encounter in your college? Here are the 3 most common types of licenses: library licenses, collective society licenses, transactional licenses. Let's start with library licenses. Much of your library's digital content, such as article databases and ebooks, is under license. Library licenses are negotiated to allow you, as a college library patron, to email articles to yourself or download them to your computer. Most also make it easy to link to material and share it with your students. Some may even allow you to use the content as handouts or course-packed material. If it's not clear to you what you can do with library licensed content, ask your college librarian. What about collective society licenses? And what is a collective society anyhow? Collective societies represent groups of creators and copyright holders who produce similar content, like written material or songs. These groups authorize collective societies to issue licenses and collect royalties on their behalf. The collective society licenses you are most likely to find in colleges are with SOCAN or Access Copyright. SOCAN represents Canadian composers, authors, and publishers, and have reciprocal agreements with collective societies in other countries. The SOCAN license allows a college community to use music. The Access Copyright license allows a college to use a certain amount of published works owned by its members, such as books, journals, or magazines. Check with the person designated in your college to answer copyright questions for information on collective licensing at your college. That person can also tell you how to follow the terms of any collective licensing you may have. When you want to use copyrighted protected works in a way that is not outlined in your college's copyright practices or guidelines, and you cannot find alternatives in your college library, usually you need a transactional license. Transactional licenses grant you permission to use copyright protected works, usually for a specific time period, and sometimes for the payment of a fee to the copyright owner. They are an agreement between you and the copyright holder. For example, if you wanted to scan and post 4 chapters from a 10-chapter book to your online course, it's very unlikely your college's copyright practices would allow you to do so. All licenses, even informal ones between you and a friend, should be in writing and filed, so you can find it if any future misunderstandings occur. There are many other types of licenses you may encounter in a college environment. Here are a few examples. Software licenses. Publisher licenses that spell out the terms and conditions for using supplementary material, such as PowerPoint or quizzes, that accompany textbooks. Subscription licenses to online databases or journals specific to your department. Always refer to the license when you want to know how the material can be used. And what about licenses you enter into yourself, such as Netflix or iTunes? Can you use these resources to help teach your students? Generally, no. These types of licenses are usually for personal use only. Your college library has resources available that will help you determine if transactional licenses are required and, if so, may help you obtain them. For more information on how to make use of licensed content, consult the person your college has designated to help with copyright questions. Your college library is a good place to start.